Hi guys! Today we are going to review the Demonata Book 2, The Demon Thief. Unlike Book 1, this book is actually the best one in the franchise. Yes, I know, it's pretty shocking to say the least. So, without any delays, let's get started. We have three alternative covers. The first cover is excellent. I like the color blue with tan brown to suggest a portal is opening. There is a mysterious wizard who is trying to open it. It's amazing and makes you interested in buying the book. The second cover is awful. We have artery looking at the reader. The number of details is unnecessary. Colors are horrible. It makes me not want to buy the book. The third cover is better than the second cover. However, it's pretty generic and forgettable. Artery is still looking at the reader and the color is green. It is fine. I would have asked the artist to add shadows to make it more intimidating. It's better than cover 2, but it needed more work. My verdict for the covers are: cover 1 gets a 10 out of 10. Cover 2 gets a 2 out of 10. Cover 3 gets a 5 out of 10. Book 2 is not a sequel to Book 1, but a prequel. There is a reason why Darren did this. He revealed it on his website. Darren makes a great point regarding the main protagonist's first-person perspective. It is something that I'm not a fan of first-person narration. No matter the events and the danger, the main character will be safe. If they die, the whole series ends. He made Colonel to raise the stakes. If main character number 1 or 2 dies, the other will continue to live and continue in the series. It is a good idea on paper. However, in later entries, Darren didn't execute the concept well. Suppose I was his agent, editor, or beta reader, I would have told him, Lizzie Lott's young adult books have a narrator detailing the main character's actions. Dr.Richard Battle made the right move by having a narrator detailing Lizzie's adventures. That way you can make the reader guess if she will make it through the journey's end. Richard remains in Lizzie's point of view, but we do not have the story in Lizzie's first-person perspective. The book sets 30 years before the events in Book 1. In my opinion, this book is the best book of the entire series. It does everything right, minus the pacing and a few things. We follow Colonel, the second protagonist of the book series. Whatever complaints I had on Book 1 about Grubbs and his family, Darren corrects it in this book. Colonel is an antisocial individual. He cannot make friends. He prefers to spend most of his time in his place. Colonel loves reading books and watching TV. He has magic and can see the small lights. He mentioned it to the school and it got him into trouble, so Colonel keeps it to himself. That is good, Darren. You wrote the school aspect far better rather than in Book 1. Now there is a motive for why Colonel's mother came to school, unlike a specific mother in Book 1, but oh well. Colonel spends a few pages explaining his life to the reader. I would suggest to Darren to have Colonel interact with his environment. Have Colonel do all of this. Please have at least one person explaining it to him. It's a minor flaw, but I can forgive it because the protagonist is likable. One night, Colonel decides to play with the lights. He is concentrating and trying to see what he can do. Finally, the lights slowly combine and a magical portal opens. Colonel is surprised. Then a mysterious voice tells him to be careful. A demon arrives. Colonel is terrified, but that voice tells him to fight the devil. So he goes inside the portal. A few days later, Colonel is back from the demon realm. His parents are concerned about his disappearance. Colonel is with his baby brother. They begin to ask him questions. He does not remember anything. Colonel's parents have an idea. Leave the city life and stay in a town. Colonel's father gives him a blanket when they get into the car. Then they play the game of hiding so people won't see them. Colonel agrees to the game. They reach Baskingston. It's a small and peaceful town. The whole family loves it. Colonel feels peaceful and thinks it will be a great life. In this town, Mrs. Egin, the witch, spots Colonel and the baby. She calls Colonel a thief and threatens him with violence if he ever mentions her. Colonel is naturally terrified and leaves. His parents announce they will go to a craft fair. They will be apart from their kids for a week. Colonel and the baby will stay with Sally. Colonel is enjoying his time with Sally, and his baby brother is doing well. During summer, Colonel goes to school with his brother. He brought his brother with him because his parents had gone to the fair, and Colonel's teacher decided to bring the little kids to the classroom. Mrs. Egin appears in the classroom. She informs everyone she will die in front of them. She uses her magic and explodes in front of everyone. It is one of the rare cases when the gore works in Darren's favor. Demons appear and a massacre begins. Darren's son brings the disciples. The disciples are a group of mages protecting the world from the Demonata. The leader of the disciples is Barnabas. He is the only well-written character in the franchise. They fight the demons. One of the demons kidnaps Colonel's brother and brings him to Demonata. The disciples follow the devil, and Colonel decides to follow them. What I like about the book is the world building of the Demonata world. Darren did a great job at fleshing out the Demonata universe. When a human being enters the Demonata world, time works differently. Depends on which part of the Demonata the humans stay. They can be gone from Earth either days, weeks, months, years, decades, or even centuries. Demons can use teleportation to go into every demon's world of their choice. They take the form of an animal or a humanoid creature because they lack imagination and creativity. They love the human world. When a Demonata portal is open, mages' magic increases. It works the same with the demons. In the Demonata universe, the devils are at their strongest. The Demonata world has multiple worlds. Each location has its landscapes and different types of demons. Great job, Darren! You came up with a great idea of the demon's world. It is unique and can efficiently serve as a story generator. If only you didn't name it the Demonata and explored the universe in detail, it would have made your books stand out from the competition. Colonel finds the disciples. We get to meet with the rest of the group. The characters are better than in book 1. They have a personality. Each character has an actual motive to join the disciples. Barnabas tested Colonel to see if he was worthy of being a disciple, and he passed the test. One of the disciples, Nadia Moore, can predict the future. However, she cannot see how everything will come to play. During her younger days, she used her ability to earn money. Barnabas found her and kidnapped her. The reason why Barnabas needs her is that she can help the disciples to find cow gas. We are not going to talk about cow gas in book 2. It's irrelevant in this story. The plot does remind you this is a kid's book, or I would say young adult. Nadia despises Barnabas for forcing her on the journey to search for the cow gas. During a fight scene with the demons, Colonel opens the portal. Nadia convinces Colonel to follow her and escape the Demonata. They are in a city. Nadia suggests Colonel to join her. Colonel feels guilty about abandoning the disciples and refusing Nadia's offer. The following pages consist of Colonel exploring the city. Colonel discovers a building which hosts a rock band. Demonic energy is in that building. Mages are coming to the live concert. A young dervish and Sark arrives. They spot Colonel. He convinces them to join the cause and fight the demons. The Demonata arrives and a fight ensues. The defeated enemies return to the portal and the heroes follow them. They find Baranabus. Baranabus asks for Colonel to fight Nadia Moore. Colonel is hesitant, but he agrees to do it. He finds her, and Baranabus brings her back to the Demonata world. Nadia despises Baranabus for what he did. Baranabus tells her if they find a piece of the carcass, she can leave. Colonel wants to find his brother, but doesn't care about fighting carcass. Finally, he manages to convince Baranabus to search for his brother. He brings the characters to Lord Law's world. They meet with him. The brother of Colonel is there with Lord Laws. Lord Laws uses magic to kill Nadia Moore. The heroes want to get the baby back. Lord Laws intends to play a game. He brings the chessboard. Don't worry guys, they won't play chess. God, I had enough of that game in book 1. Anyways, Lord Law's new game will consist of fighting the demon thief. They have 3 guesses. If they lose, they will die. If they win, he will let them go. The crew agrees. Lord Laws puts them inside the chessboard. They are separated. The chessboard is filled with rooms, traps, and many demons to fight. I like the concept. It's imaginative and it has stakes. There was only one thing I didn't like in this scene. A demon with wings hits Colonel and he falls into the lava. The lava is hurting him and he's about to die. Nadia, as a ghost, saves him from being killed in the lava. She tells him to use magic to restore himself. Colonel asks her why she's here. Nadia reveals she switched sides with the Demonata because she got fed up with Baranabus. They stage her death in exchange for her loyalty to Lord Laws. Lord Laws gave her permission to help Colonel once. I say this is a lazy deus ex machina. Instead, the character either dies or has some serious repercussions. Plus, we cannot have Colonel die in this book. Without the main character, there is no story. Baranabus or any other member of the disciples could have taught Colonel the healing magic instead of Nadia. But since Nadia will be the enemy from now on, as she informs Colonel about this, she leaves. Well, okay, that was pointless. Colonel finds the other members of the disciples. They keep fighting demons and try to uncover the demon thief. Colonel sees Cadaver, the demon who captured his brother, roaming around and chases him. Colonel decides to take the risk of revealing who is the demon thief. Lord Laws arrives. Colonel's first guess is Cadaver, the demon who came to school and kidnapped Colonel's brother. Colonel's second guess is Lord Laws himself. Colonel tries to think carefully and he comes to a big realization. He is the thief. Colonel's baby brother was never his brother. He was Artery all along. At the beginning of the book, when Colonel opens the portal, Lord Laws comes to face. Colonel went inside the doorway Artery was torturing a demon. Colonel saw Artery and kidnapped him. He used his magic and transformed Artery into a human baby named Art. The witch who called him a thief was working with Lord Loss, and she acted it as a sacrificing vessel to summon Candaver to obtain Artery back. Colonel's parents knew the baby was not theirs. However, they didn't realize it was a demon. They accepted the baby because they had lost their baby girl. Artery was a substitute. They had to leave the place to avoid suspicions about the baby. As a plot twist, I like it. It makes sense. Colonel is a naive mage who doesn't control his magic. I will have to reveal a plot twist which happens at the end of book 2. Remember the Gargas? Listened to Colonel's desire to have someone close to him. Gargas is one of the most potent weapons in the world of the Demonata books. It has the power to do anything you want. However, I do have some small nitpicks about the big reveal. The name of the demon baby Art in the human world will be a massive giveaway to people who read Book 1. Artery is here. People who never read Book 1 will not notice it. Darren should have renamed the demon so as not to make it evident to the readers of Book 1. It defeats the purpose of the plot twist and lessens the impact. It would have been even better if, on the first pages of Book 2, to trick the people and not make the twist obvious, have the portal scene to be on the first pages. Then have his parents and his brother appear organically. Then the twist will have more power. Colonel and the disciples decide not to bring Artery into the human world. The group, aside from Baranabus, return to the human world. Colonel arrives at his place and sees his parents. He notices his parents grew older and 7 years have passed following the massacre at school. Colonel and his parents move to another place. A city. Darren's son does something most writers do not do. I know, it's gonna be shocking. Colonel is back with his family. His parents, however, do not want him there. They have no idea if he is even their son in the first place. Colonel finds a photo with Art. A black marker covers his face. I felt Colonel's pain. It was realistic and painful, but for once, Darren made me feel the emotions intended in the scene. He can pull it off if he truly tries. I wish he put that level of dedication in all of the Demonata books, but unfortunately, it's all downhill from here on out. Colonel decides to leave his parents for good and finds Baranabus. The book ends with the reveal that Colonel has a piece of the Gargas within him. To conclude this review, the Demonata book 2, The Demon Thief, is a decent book, minus some problems. Colonel is a great protagonist. Unlike Grumps, the less we talk about Grumps, the better. The side characters are great, especially Baranabus. That guy is awesome. The world building is fantastic, and the plot twist is great. As for the problems of the book, while the plot twist is good on paper, Darren shouldn't have made the name obvious like Art and Artery. He should have changed it to not make it instantly obvious. Colonel should have been tapped the healing magic and not by Nadia's Deus Ex Machina. But yeah, the pacing of the book was pretty inconsistent. Sometimes it was moving too fast and sometimes it was moving too slow. But other than that, I recommend the book. So my rating for this book is 7 out of 10 and 4.5 stars. So yes guys, that is all for today folks. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel and have a good day.